Dear Hope Church family, there are snappy slogans about the rhythm of church life that go something like this. The church is gathered in worship and scattered in service. And I can bear witness to all sorts of ways that hope is scattered in service. We have folks living out their vocational call as nurses, doctors, therapists, painters, teachers, and landscapers. And we have folks volunteering and marching and serving on boards and planting new ministries and seeking to love the last, the lost, and the least. We're good at being scattered. We miss being gathered. I know the church is not the building or the steeple, but I'd like to open the doors and see all the people. I miss seeing you. I saw a young girl a few days ago, and I think she's grown an inch since we were last in the building together. We have babies to baptize, new members to welcome, and the passages of life to mark. I long for that day when we're gathered together. So, we muddled our way through spring, trying to figure out how to do church in this new reality. And as we begin summer, and our experiments in homeschooling are wrapping up, it seemed right to the elders that we offer an update. Hope for summer 2020. This is that update. Now, in shaping plans for the next few months, we tried to keep these shared commitments in front of us. One, we are united by the gospel of grace in Jesus Christ. Two, we exist within the guidance and governance of the state. And three, we want to make decisions that respect and protect members of Hope and the surrounding community. So, to that end, we're going to continue to offer worship by podcast for the next couple months. Whatever you think of the virulence of the coronavirus, transmission and mitigation are a function of density. How many people are in a space, proximity, how close they are together, and time, how long are they together. Putting a lot of people close together in a room for an hour and having them sing together seems ill-advised. And at this point, also outside of the guidance of the state and the CDC. Therefore, we're exploring options for worshiping outdoors in late July and August. But until then, we're sticking with podcasts. There's a lot of voices and videos out that are available about every manner of thing under the sun. Some of the best preachers, TED talkers, and engaging storytellers are readily available on the interwebs. And I have no idea how our little podcast can break through all that noise. And I know that the novelty of a worship podcast wears off quickly. But I hope you'll stick with it. Worship has long been the heartbeat of hope, and I'd argue that making space for the voices of hope and listening for the voice of God is a healthy respite from all the other voices that crowd and clutter our lives. We don't care how you listen or where you listen, but we hope you'll listen. It is the one consistent living link to hope that we have right now. So, podcasts for the next month or two, and we're trying to develop safe, socially distant, outdoor worship opportunities. We've also established a blue ribbon panel of some of Hope's doctors, scientists, and administrators to help us navigate information, misinformation, and state guidelines. That little committee will make recommendations and offer guidance to Hope's elders and deacons as they make decisions. In the meantime, we think it would be good to simply get together, hear each other's stories, and be re-rooted in our life together. Therefore, we divided the Hope family into 10 regional groups, and I think when the state goes to phase 4, which we hope is in early July, the elders will invite each of those groups together for socially distant conversation and prayer. We'd gather in a park, backyard, or parking lot, bring your own snacks and drink, spend an hour together, and close in prayer. These 10 regional groups are about 20 church directory entries each, so we think the size will be manageable. We're getting organized and waiting for the all clear for such gatherings, so look for an invitation in early July. Next week, we're doing a revamped Vacation Bible School. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night for an hour. Families keeping social distance in the parking lot. Margie Coleman leading singing. Mark Dykstra doing Bible stories. We'll play a game each night. We'll send kids home with a craft and a snack. We think it'll be a fun few evenings, and we hope to end on Friday with a bring your own food and drink parking lot picnic. Again, we're trying to be mindful of transmission and mitigation factors, keep kids and parents safe, still be together, live into our calling, and catch some of that hope vibe. Men's Bible study, women's Bible study, theology on tap, and some other small groups are trying to figure out how to reopen this summer in ways that work for most. There are families still headed to Indiana for the Hope Summer Campout, and they have some slots open. Amy and Bill BC have been creatively looking for ways to connect with Yeeps. So watch for details for all of these initiatives in news and notes. Dear friends, there's no clear roadmap for this leg of the journey. And within the Hope family, the breadth of opinions, interpretations, and ideas about what to do is deep and wide. That's one of the great gifts of living in our big tent. We're trying to keep central commitments in worship, education, fellowship, and service, while balancing issues of health, welfare, state and insurance requirements and recommendations, et cetera, et cetera. And with 100 people in their 70s and 100 kids under 16, that's no easy task. Where in the last few months have you seen that kind of intergenerational life? It's part of what we love about Hope Life and part of what we long for. Know that with prayerful deliberation, we're trying to be creative and make decisions for all ages with the best information available. Last week, a new crop of elders and deacons joined the veterans via Zoom for their first meeting, and I'm sure that they were a little shell-shocked. The elders talked about these plans and wondered and wrestled with how we're called to address the issues of the day regarding race and inequity under the law. How do we listen, confess, learn from, and stand with our black brothers and sisters? They were also asking about how to encourage Hope folks who might need benevolent help access that benevolent help. And we prayed for families struggling with health issues in times of isolation. And it was a full conversation that remains undone and in process. But I drove home grateful for wise leaders who embody empathy, humor, keen intellects, and deep commitment to Christ and His church. I drove home encouraged by the provision of God of gifted and faithful leaders. please remember them in prayer and encouragement. And if you have any ideas and concerns and questions, don't hesitate to contact me or any elder. Our calling is service to the family of God gathered in hope. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a sense of direction for the next couple months. I hope you'll reach out to one another. I think one of the best things we can do is connect with friends, new and old, from Hope. You be the one who does the reaching. You're gifted by the Spirit for the common good. Thanks for listening. Together may we know the way and will of God as we seek after justice, love mercy, and walk in humility with God. Peace be with you.